Okay, YouTubers, this is Joe from ArtAlienTV. A quick game of interplanetary I Spy going on here. Testing out my new webcam mic, so if it sounds a bit different to usual, don't panic, it's just a different microphone. It may sound a bit tinny, I don't really know how it's going to come out when I process it, so bear with me. So yeah, another quick game of interplanetary I Spy going on here, and we're looking at Sol 1187, and the particular image we're looking for is this one on the page, fourth one along from the right. And it's got like a weird mound and a very bright object in the middle of it, almost there. Okay, so let's have a look at this a bit closer. I've got it in here. I've already taken some clips. Here's the raw image. Now, this is weird because I've been seeing this mound for quite some time now. And we're getting quite close to it, and it's rather strange. But the thing that caught my eye was this very reflective object in the middle of the picture here that doesn't look anything like any of the rocks around it. It's very, very bright and reflective. Even though this has been filtered and downgraded, this image, you can still see that it's very bright. Let's have a close up of it here. Here we go. This is raw, and when you're getting close here, you can see these kind of rods sticking up here, these white kind of rod-like structures. Now, after looking at this for only like about 20 seconds, I came to the conclusion that it may be a boat. I initially thought it might be a car, and this was part of the roof structure where some of the struts, the roof supports were still sticking up, but obviously boats also can have cabins as well, or roof structures. So, and judging by the general shape of it here, you've got what looks like a prop or propeller or some kind of engine on the back. The hull comes right across to here. The front end is broken here and torn apart, and the actual front of the boat, I think, is this thing here. So it's split into two. And there's other bits of debris lying around, like over here in the bottom left corner, and little pieces like this thing here. So I wonder whether some of these little reflective objects are parts of it that have just been, where it's just kind of smashed against the rocks. It's just bits of it have flown around all over the place, and there's little bits of debris lying around. So who knows? It's hard to say, but they are all the same sort of colour and level of luminosity, which leads me to believe they may well all be parts of the same object that have torn off and broken off. Okay, so let's have a look at the enhancements very quickly. I'll get it a bit closer. Now, what I've done here is I've used fade correction, and I've also gone around it very carefully and sharpened it, and used a bit of contrast as well, and added a bit of shadow and brightness here and there, just to really bring out some of this detail. Now, if you get too close, it just turns to crap. There's no point in doing that. But if you look at it a bit further back, you can see there are some internal rectangular structures here, and what look like struts going across it. And there is some detail at the back here, where the possible engine is here. And what else can I say? I mean, look at the front end. You can see the pointed bow end here, and some of the internal structures here where it's kind of ripped apart. So it's got a kind of little internal structures to it where you're actually seeing into the boat there, and you can see more of that over here. So the colour and shadows on this part really match the detail here. So this is fairly obviously, to me, part of the same thing. If you look at the colours and the general sort of shapes and colours in here. Let's have a look at a laser enhancement, because I actually balanced the colour back again here, so I've warmed the colour back up a bit, and I've carefully gone over it and sharpened it really gently by hand. I haven't gone too crazy with it, because it would just break up. If you over sharpen an image, it will break up and look terrible, especially when you zoom in. You've got to be really gentle with it. And you can see these struts sticking up here. There seems to be one, a very faint one here. Now, that may be image damage, don't know, but there's also something up here as well. And this thing in the foreground looks like maybe part of it here. There's a reflected part here, and there's a few odd bits dotted around. And you can see more detail at the front here, the bow, and some of these internal structures where it's ripped apart. And there seems to be some kind of weird pipe sticking down here, which has something coming out of it, like a wire or some kind of tubing or something. So yeah, what can I say? It looks like a boat, and it's in a dried out lake bed, so the chances of it being a boat are quite good, I'd say. NASA wouldn't admit that, but I'm not NASA, so there you go. Here it is in negative. and that actually shows some of the internal rectangular structures really well. You can see them quite clearly now here, look. And at the back you can see that motor, or whatever it is at the back there, and you can see these struts sticking up quite clearly, and you can see the front of the boat here also quite clear. So I was quite pleased with this one, because even though it's a very poor image, luckily the thing is long enough to get some detail. It's about 5 foot long. It may be shorter, maybe longer, I don't know exactly, because when you look at the source image, how far away is that? I mean, 10 feet away. The bottom of the image is usually about 8 feet away from the rover, assuming the rover cameras aren't zoomed in. The mass cam isn't zoomed in, you know, so that's 8, so that's probably another 8, that's probably about 16 feet away. So possibly that's about 5 foot. That's my estimation. It's not much bigger than that. It could even be a bit smaller. So there we go, folks. I'll put some clips in at the end. I hope the sound's okay on this. I'm just testing this new equipment I've got. I've got a new computer in the background. I don't know if you can hear that, but I'm trying to mask the sound of the fan, and it's coming through on the microphone. So we're trying out different microphones to see which one will blank it out best, you know. So thanks for watching, everybody. I'll see you soon.